What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 101, and we start today's episode off by seeing that the South African FA have come to us and said, will you manage our country? And we say no. Of course, that happened right at the end of the last episode. If you missed the last episode, episode 100, go back and watch it. It was basically 3 episodes rolled into one with different commentary styles, loads of transfers, starting off the new season, of course, taking on Chelsea, who are probably going to be our rivals for the title again this season, and also we had the Copa Europe against PSG. Really lots of fun in that episode, so if you missed it, go back and watch it. But we also put in an inquiry for Luke Garbutt as he's put on the transfer list to Everton, and we basically just put in a really low bid for them. They're not going to accept it, but I did it regardless. And also Andy Carroll is going to be our first signing of today's episode. Carroll comes in for £6.5 million plus Nastasic. Now, is it an overspend? Well, based on his valuation being £7 million, you'd probably argue that it is, because Nastasic is valued at around £4.5 million, but we've got a ton of defenders here as Garbutt goes to Borussia Dortmund, which is not a real surprise. We've got a ton of defenders here, like absolutely loads of them, too many really, and Nastasic is like 5th choice centre-back. He wasn't really going to get much game time this year. He might play in some of these games, the Capital One Cup against Hartlepool United here for our first Capital One Cup game in our defence of the trophy again. He might play in these sort of games, but the reality is he wasn't going to get much exposure. And you know, we've got Vestergaard, Sane, Mauricio, Zambrano, North, who started this game, an academy player who I want to give some game time to, and Craig Dawson as well. So you know, he wasn't going to get much game time. I thought I'd do it to sweeten the deal, and Carroll comes in, and I know that I could have probably got a better striker than Andy Carroll, to be honest, but I just I don't know. I really like Andy Carroll. I don't even know why exactly I really like Andy Carroll. I just always have ever since his Newcastle days. But still, we do take on Hartlepool United for the first game of today's episode. Now, you may hear over the next 2 episodes the commentators in the background are Spanish, not Martin Tyler and Aaron Smith. The reason for that is because I forgot to change them back to English after I used my Racing Santander save. So apologies for that. But regardless, we take on Hartlepool United. And the first chance fell here as Wellington Silva backheels it towards Creswell, and the pair play a couple of 1-2s to each other. And as the left back takes it around Richards, he whips in a lovely cross, and Danny Ings gives us the lead just after the half an hour mark and makes it Hartlepool United 0, West Bromwich Albion 1. So taking on the League 2 side, we thoroughly expected to win this game comfortably. To be honest, that's not meaning to sound too boastful and to talk smack about our opponents at all, because you know, with this squad, it is weaker than usual, but it's still got some very decent players in there. You know, you've got Granit Xhaka, who's an 80 rated player. Obviously Silva's a very decent winger as well, Creswell, Vestergaard at the back, Ings of course a very good striker. So you know, even though we did comfortably expect to win this game, we knew that it was going to be a game where we had to respect our opponents, you know, and it did take us a while to get started, but once we did get the goal, we felt like we were going to be in control for the rest of the game. However, Hartlepool United did almost score an equaliser in the 41st minute through Marlon Harewood. There's a blast from the past, but from the goal kick, I gave it straight to Harewood as I tried to play out from the back. Harewood crosses the ball in, and in the centre, another great chance for Hartlepool United with the header, but it goes wide and out for a goal kick again. So Hartlepool, in the last 5 minutes before the half-time break, really were getting some shots on goal and putting some attempts on target and trying to get themselves back on level terms, but they couldn't hit the target, and as it was still 1-0, in the 67th minute they lost the ball here. Ings goes down the left-hand side. It's a great chance to make it 2-0 as he takes on the number 22, beats him for pace, cuts it back, rolls it inside to the centre. Powell that takes one touch with a fake shot, and what a finish it is as well by Jake Powell, the 16-year-old academy graduate. We had a couple of them starting in this game, Ashley Bentley, Powell and North as well, and Powell gets his first goal for his club on his debut, and what a fantastic finish it was. He's actually a left-footed player, but that was a wonderful finish with the right foot. Fantastic take there after the fake shot, and he just blasted the ball into the top corner. Fantastic finish. So he kept Andy Carroll on the bench for this game, our new signing, and maybe we don't need it. We could have used Jake Powell instead, but Powell makes it 2-0, and it was how the game finished as well. A 2-0 victory, again relatively comfortable. We expected it would be, and you know, it was just one of those games where I wouldn't exactly call them a formality. I never like to call a game a formality, because as I always say, no matter how easy a game may look on paper, you still got to win it, and you know, I felt we did enough to win it. You know, Hartlepool did have a couple of good chances, but other than that, we were in control for the large percentage of the game. But still, following that, North said he was glad that he got a chance to play in that game, and also we decided to go in for a new player. I thought I'd go in for Nathan Redmond Redmond. Redmond's name has cropped up in the comments quite a lot of times, to be honest. And I have owned Nathan Redmond before. He is a relatively decent player, but I don't know how well he's done on this career mode. I don't have a scout report on him. But even so, Wellington Silva has not grown since we originally signed him. Redmond is English. It does sort of fulfill my objective of signing more English players this transfer window, and also Wilfried Zaha as well. I also own Zaha too. Funny enough, I think they were in the same team when we were at Blackburn. I can't remember now, but still, I'm going for Wilfried Zaha as well. Just like Redmond, don't have a scout report on him, so I'm not entirely sure how good he is. But as you'll see, United accepted a bid of 2.25 million plus silver, whereas Norwich said no. So Norwich said they'd rather keep hold of Redmond, but United seemed like they would prefer to get rid of Zaha and bring in silver. So that made me think maybe Zaha isn't actually as good as silver, because I know that Zaha starts at a 72 overall, I think it is, so maybe I'm making a poor decision here. But as you'll see, I risked it, I gambled it, I put in Zaha, and as you'll see in the squad report, he's actually 2 ratings better. So in the end, it turned out to be a pretty decent deal. Maybe a little bit of an overspend, because silver wasn't exactly a bad player or anything, but personally speaking, I thought that was a relatively decent deal for us, because I do like Zaha, to be fair, and I think if he gets enough game time, he can prove he does have a bit of class. And Zaha comes in again. It's just a way of improving this squad overall, and this does end the transfer window because the deadline day ends here with an hour to go. We'd already done all our business, and as you'll see, we spent a lot of money. We also received quite a bit of money for our players as well. But we've achieved our objectives in this transfer window really nicely. We've improved the first 11 with some more 80+ rated players, and even in the squad, when we have signed those squad players such as Wilfried Zaha, it's improved the average overall of the squad, because you think about Silva going out and Zaha coming in, it's a marginal change in terms of a player's rating, but he's 2 overalls better, and it may not seem like much, but at the end of the day, it isn't much, I'll admit that, but it does help us improve as a squad, and that's what I really want to do this year. As we're in the Champions League for the first time, I wanted to get a really strong, in-depth squad, and we've got that now. We really do. We definitely got a very strong squad of players, not just the first 11, and the improvements will be made all throughout the squad. So as the transfer deadline day ends, you saw a useful monthly report there, and also a look at our squad report coming into the new season as we now enter September. Well, we started the season, but now there's no more transfers to be made until January. This is the squad we'll be working with, and as you can see, some very decent transfers, I feel. Okay, maybe we overspent on 1 or 2. I'm not going to deny that. Andy Carroll was probably a bit of an overspend, and maybe we could have got a cheaper deal for Ravel Morrison and even Jack Wilshere, to be honest. But at the end of the day, we had the money there. We wanted to improve the squad, and we've done that, So I'm pleased with the business we've done. Maybe you guys could have done a better job than me, but I'm pleased with what we've done here. And it's looking very bright. This squad is looking very good indeed. And you're looking at it already. There are already some improvements for some of the new players coming in. Sane's gone up by 1. Carroll's gone up by 1. Wilshere's gone up by 1. So even these new signings coming in are already starting to improve. So that's what's making me feel really good about the business we've done. Again, it was expensive, but I feel as though we got a very good squad this year. And if we could win the title last year, and now we've actually improved on the squad, there's no reason why we can't A, win it again, and also B, win more trophies, and C, have a really good go in the Champions League this year. But still, league table after 3 games, as you can see, 3 wins so far, so fantastic start, 100%, couldn't ask for more. And also Chile came to us and said, will you manage our nation? They said, we've got a player here called Brian Carrasco, you might want to link up with him. I was like, that's tempted, but I don't know much about Brian Carrasco, so I'll say no. But anyway, we saw our Champions League group drawn as well. We've got PSV, PSG, and also Dynamo Moscow. So I think that's a decent group. Obviously PSG are the current Champions League holders. We beat them in the Copa Europe in the last episode 100, and also PSV, who we beat in the Europa League knockout stages last year, and also Dynamo Moscow. And I think we can come through that. If not as group winners, then definitely in second place. I mean, PSG probably will be very strong. I mean, they were strong in the Copa Europe, even though we won that trophy just a couple of weeks ago. But I think PSV, we showed enough to beat them in the Europa League last year in the knockout stages, and our squad's improved. So I feel like we should be able to pip them to second place at least. And as for Dynamo Moscow, I feel as though we should be able to beat them home and away, to be honest. But still, we do take on Newcastle United for the second and final game of today's episode here, as Newcastle come to the Hawthorns. We played Newcastle at the Hawthorns in the penultimate game last year. We had to win it really to keep up the title challenge with Chelsea, and we did win it. So that was a big win for us there. And well, we got to the perfect start here 10 minutes in, because Lacazette was pulled down to the floor there. Not sure who it was, I think it was David Santon, yes it was, who pulled Lacazette to the floor, and the referee had no hesitation but to book the Italian fullback and also give us a spot kick. And it was the right decision. If you're going to pull a man's shirt so much, then if he goes down, the referee's most likely going to give a penalty, and he did. So penalty to us, it's going to be Tim Krul against Niang. So Krul, of course, who had the penalty saving heroics in the World Cup back in 2014 in Brazil for the Netherlands. Could he save this penalty from Niang? He could not, because Niang sends him the wrong way and makes it 1-0 to West Bromwich Albion. So the guy's got off to a fantastic start already this season, and I'm sure it's going to continue. He's just too good, and he's just got his 4th goal in the Premier League in now 4 games. Not even 4 games being played, obviously, as we're still playing the 4th game, and we are 1-0 up. So Niang getting the goal there, and we take a very early lead. And from kickoff, Oliveira is on the ball for Newcastle here, and as he plays it out wide towards Daryl Janmaat, the Dutch right back loses the ball, and as Henderson takes it around him here, he's got Niang coming through the centre. He picks him out with a great ball forward. What a great take by Niang, and the finish is even better, because he stops the ball, drags it back, and finesses the ball into the far corner, and makes it West Brom 2, Newcastle 0. So 2 goals to the good here, not even quarter of an hour on the clock. Both goals coming through the French forward, as you'd expect, and it is West Brom 2, Newcastle United 0. So fantastic, bright, vibrant start, and we've shown that all through the season, really. We've looked very, very good in all the games we've played so far, and that was a very decent way of putting the ball in the back of the net there. I could have just smashed it, but I thought I'd go for some skill and it would look quite nice. But Safia Taida, who we sold to Newcastle in the summer transfer window, almost scored against us there. And in the 24th minute here, as Newcastle go down the right hand side, they cross the ball to Oliveira, and he hits the bar, and then the ball loops up in the air and hits the bar again before going behind for a goal kick. So Newcastle beginning to get themselves back in the game, but other than those 2 chances, they didn't really look like threatening much. And there was a great chance here for Berahino off the bench to make it 3-0 here, as he turns Jamal Lascales. Wonderful stuff, but his shot was pretty simply saved by Tim Krul, to be honest, and it was still 2-0. And in the 60th minute here, just past the hour mark, Newcastle on the ball again. De Jong plays it through to Safia Taida, and again the Algerian midfielder, who was causing me quite a few problems in this game. He was desperate to show me why I shouldn't have sold him, was denied by a very good save by Joe Hart, and it was still 2-0. And he will see in the 65th minute Kevin Savanier swing this corner into the box. It's aimed towards Berahino. It's missed by everyone, really. It comes out to Rodriguez. His shot is blocked. It comes to Sane. Sane is tackled. It comes to Wilshere. Wilshere to Savanier. Savanier spots the run of Mbai Niang, and it's his first hat-trick of the season. And Mbai Niang finesses the ball in, does the old man celebration, and makes it West Bromwich Albion 3, Newcastle 0. So 3-0 to the good here, and there was really no defensive awareness from Newcastle from this goal. You see Niang just make a simple run through the middle there, and no one picks him up. Savanier plays him through, and it's West Brom 3, Newcastle 0. And the final chance would fall to Newcastle in the 90th minute. Sissoko finding Oliveira. He rounds Joe Hart, but that summed up their day. He puts the shot wide with basically an open goal, and it goes out for a goal kick. So final score, West Brom 3, Newcastle 0. We continue the winning start to the season. It's been a fantastic opening. We've made some very good signings. We want to continue it for as long as possible, obviously, and that was a really good game to showcase our talent and our hopes for this season. But as always, guys, a big thank you for watching the video. I really hope you have enjoyed it. If you have enjoyed the episode, please leave a like, and I'll see you for the next episode very soon.